You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys and gals, I have said before on this channel, I am a big Al Michaels fan. I grew up during a time period I can remember so many historic moments from Al Michaels. I am old enough to remember the "Do You Believe in Miracles" call. I am certainly old enough to remember this call. This was the 1989 World Series, and this is Al Michaels when an earthquake struck between the Giants and the A's, and it became a historic moment in all of sports broadcasting.
Maldonado with the hesitation, allowing Jose Canseco to score, so the Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earth. I don't know if we're on the air or not, and I'm not sure I care. But we are.
The Loma
I mean, in true Al Michaels fashion, Al Michaels says, I don't know if I care if we're still on the air. And that's just the great thing about Al Michaels. What Al Michaels has done is become not only one of the best play-by-play men of all time in sports history with these historic moments in time, but he's also become somewhat of my dad, okay? If you gave my dad a microphone in his post-65-year-old era where he, to a point, somewhat doesn't care what anybody thinks about him and what he's got to say and how he's saying it, you would have Al Michaels if my dad had those kind of broadcasting chops. So Al Michaels delivered a couple of great moments on Amazon Prime's Black Friday yesterday, but in a repulsive game between the Jets and the Dolphins that really became unwatchable at a lot of times. By the way, Amazon, the quality of your broadcast, the actual feed was horrible yesterday. Horrible. And I've got 4 different scorching fast internet connections to try. And none of the 4 were worth a shit, just to be honest. Buffering, pixelated, the whole 9 yards, it was bad. So, let's get to this, because Amazon, you know, back in the day, it was Al Michaels, John Madden, and Turduckins. Well, let's just say Amazon didn't exactly hook up Al Michaels during this broadcast. So, Michaels and partner Kirk Herbstreit were served a massive sandwich during the broadcast called the, quote, Wedge Buster. Now, in case you guys don't know, Al Michaels famously does not eat anything green, which I think is awesome because I don't really eat anything green. But he's sort of become famous for it. He's like a complete carnivore, low-carb guy without meaning to be the carnivore, low-carb guy. He claims he has never eaten a green vegetable his entire life. And I don't know how old he is. He's got to be very close to 70. So I think, 80, actually. So it's worked out for Al Michaels. It has. The creation made by renowned chef David Chang was a hodgepodge of Thanksgiving leftovers. So this was what Al Michaels had to say at that time. Let's go over to this account so we can blow it up and see exactly what it is he says.
Let me get some sound. There we go.
So this is David Chang.
A little bit of this.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
What?
Ugh, that looks awful.
That's another thing. I worked 7 years with John Madden, and we had turducken.
Oh, yeah.
I might have to duck this. I don't know. You tell me what's in here.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any green in there for you. Yeah, there's a lot of green in there.
Oh, come on. Get out of town.
Al Michaels just flat rejects it on national television. Al Michaels says, oh, come on, get out of here. This was an actual promo that Amazon tried to display this guy's sandwiches. And Al Michaels, well, he rejected it. I mean, this was supposed to be a special moment on Black Friday. And Al Michaels did a Dikembe Mutombo. Let me send that out of the room quickly. So, not only did he have this moment, but he also had a great Tyreek Hill moment yesterday. And what I've come to realize is Al Michaels, for whatever reason, if you're like Generation X and older, you love Al Michaels. Okay, he's one of the GOATs. He's one of the best of all time. But if you're like a younger millennial and on out younger, there's a whole faction of people that hate Al Michaels. And I don't get it. I really don't understand that. But it seems like when it comes to anything more traditional, including your play-by-play guys, people just love to shit on these guys as they age. They really do. So there was a viral moment. I was watching the game when he said this. I laughed so hard because it was just perfectly timed. It was involving Tyreek Hill and his new wife, Kita Vaquero. And during Friday afternoon's Week 12 Miami Dolphins-Jets game. And he scored a touchdown. And, he went over to give his wife the ball. And Al Michaels was like, he's giving the ball to somebody. Let's check this out.
Ooh, he got married during the bye week. Sanders for the extra point. I hope that's his wife he tossed it to. We'll find out.
I mean, dead ass, dead on. He said he got married. I hope that's his wife he gave the ball to. So good. So good. If it wasn't, oh crap. The cat is out of the bag now, Al. So good, guys. I mean, it's that kind of thing when Al Michaels decides to retire, it's going to be really disappointing for somebody my age. I'm almost 50 that grew up with Al Michaels. So anyway, a couple of great moments from Al yesterday during the Amazon broadcast. So let's get to Thanksgiving Day ratings. We got the Commanders and the Cowboys ratings. Of course, Dolly Parton was overwhelmingly celebrated for what was a really good halftime show. Of course, I mean, Dolly Parton's another one. I'm from Texas. We grew up with Dolly here. My wife is a huge Dolly Parton fan. She was so excited. A lot of people in the crowd had signs just acknowledging they literally came to the game just to see Dolly Parton. So Dolly Parton had a halftime show. She was in better shape than a lot of like 27-year-old women. Hell, 22-year-old women. Dolly Parton was in phenomenal shape, did the halftime show. The game was a blowout. It was an utter non-competitive rout. And it drew a almost record audience. So, this is Outkick. Congratulations to the Commanders who got embarrassed on Thanksgiving when they lost to the Dallas Cowboys 45-10. Jack Del Rio got his ass run off, by the way, and did so in front of a near record-setting audience. Thursday's second football game of the day ended up averaging 41.4 million viewers, according to CBS. I can tell you that's the biggest rated game of the year. That figure puts the Cowboys blowout as the third most watched regular season game in NFL history and the most since last year's Super Bowl. A tough look for the Commanders, but a dominant one for Dak Prescott, who, of course, ate turkey right there in front of everybody during the game. And there it is, 41.438 million viewers. Most watched program on any network since the Super Bowl. Third most watched game. The game peaked with 44.265 million. This is what's interesting. Paramount Plus records its most streamed NFL game ever. So, as always, the ratings when it comes to the NFL is always massive, and it's always massive on Thanksgiving. By the way, the 49ers and Seahawks, which was also a blowout, drew a huge rating. The 49ers manhandled, this is Florio, manhandled the Seahawks on Thanksgiving night, securing a 31-13 win. It did not keep millions of people from watching. NBC has announced that it generated its second largest audience for a Thanksgiving night game, with an average audience of 26.3 million. That's the most since the Bears and the Packers in 2015, so 8 years ago, that drew 27.8 million on the fourth Thursday night in November. Last year's game between the Patriots and Vikings, far more competitive. It drew 26 million. So this was slightly up, and I appreciate the fact that Florio actually put the streaming numbers in here. Now, the game was on NBC. Pro Football Talk is now on Peacock, the streaming service, so it was streamed on Peacock. The number includes 1.6 million viewers from streaming, a Thanksgiving night record. So there you have it. And football continues to rule the world, and Al Michaels continues to be a national treasure regardless of whether it is Thanksgiving Day or otherwise. I hope that's his wife. God, that's good. I was watching that, and I just laughed out loud. My wife looked up at me, and I was like, oh, that's Al Michaels. That's Al Michaels. The timing is impeccable. I mean, it's perfect. He just got married. I hope that's his wife. If that is not something that my dad, rest in peace, would have said, I don't know what is, because that was my dad every day of his life, with little sarcastic, smart drop-ins in the commentary of life. It's beautiful. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.